Ridley? Are you okay?
It kind of felt like it was showing me something. I get this feeling I don't think we're supposed to be here.
Everything begins with meeting our protagonists, Elliot and his daughter Ridley. After experiencing some inconveniences with their flight, Ridley accompanies her father by car to a meeting with the CEO of a pharmaceutical company. While they were traveling through the nature reserve to get to the meeting, his boss calls Elliot to question why he is taking too long. The distraction and his constant sneezing cause him to speed up, resulting in him hitting a unicorn that was on the road. Elio, after several turns, manages to regain control of his vehicle and emerges unharmed along with his daughter. Ridley is scared, but her father reassures her, mentioning that everything is all right. Upon seeing in the rearview mirror what caused the accident, father and daughter get out of the vehicle, as the animal they hit appears to be agonizing from its cries. Elliot, with an iron rod, approaches, and Ridley follows behind him. Both are completely surprised by what they are seeing, especially Ridley, who observes how the unicorn's horn begins to emit a light. She, with great curiosity, does not hesitate to touch it, without imagining that this connection would transport her to an inexplicable space. Elliot, realizing that his daughter is not letting go of the horn, has the bright idea to end the life of the poor animal despite the cries of his daughter, who begs him not to. After this event, father and daughter continue on their way and finally arrive at the meeting, although with the unicorn's body behind their car. Elio apologizes to his multi-millionaire boss, Leopoldo, and his family for his delay. His boss asks Elliot if, while driving through the reserve, he saw anything out of the ordinary. He flatly denies having observed anything. While her father was lying, Ridley remembers all the events experienced by the unicorn. Noticing her expression, everyone asks her if she feels all right. Elio, worried, immediately intervenes and suggests to his daughter that she wash her face so that she can feel better. Ridley, looking for the restrooms, observes her father's car for a moment. The servants notice this and do the same, realizing that the car they arrived in has considerable damage to the front. Ridley, very nervous, washes her face and notices that there are traces of the unicorn's blood left on the towel she used. On the other hand, Leopoldo has a chat with Elliot. The multimillionaire expresses his wishes for our protagonist to be the intermediary between his family and his businesses, as his health has worsened. Elio thanks him for his trust and believes it is the best decision. He takes out the papers that need to be signed and hands them to his boss's family, his son Shepard and his wife Belinda. Elio, who is nervous, wants them to sign as soon as possible. But the multi-millionaire family believes they should get to know him better as a person. That is why Belinda asks him to tell her more about himself and his little daughter. Speaking of Ridley, she notices that there is something strange on her face. Her acne has begun to disappear. While she starts to feel unwell, the unicorn's horn begins to emit a light again. But not only that, it also begins to move inside the car. Ridley interrupts her father to tell him what she is feeling, that the unicorn is resurrecting. Elio tries to ignore her, mentioning that he needs her so that his boss and his family sign the papers. While they were arguing, he notices that his car won't stop moving. Elio immediately mentions to Leopoldo that his daughter is unwell and they have to leave. He feels disappointed in our protagonist, and while they were debating, Ridley cannot hide her nervousness. The employees, noticing that the father and daughter's vehicle won't stop moving, notify their bosses. Elio doesn't know how to explain what is happening, and to his bad luck, the unicorn tries to get out through a part of the window. The employee doesn't hesitate to shoot it in the head, and everyone surrounds the animal that is once again lifeless. While they were debating, Ridley reveals that after the animal's blood fell on her face, she no longer has acne. Elliot, upon hearing this, also realizes that his allergies have disappeared. Leopoldo, listening to them, believes they should look for an unconventional solution to this situation. They persuade Elliot, mentioning that they don't want him to get involved in any legal trouble, so they will take care of the problem without any NGO or the government finding out. At night, Ridley, after watching a bloody story of how unicorns in the past became bloodthirsty due to people's greed, begins to have a strange dream, something similar to what she experienced when she touched the unicorn's horn. The next day, she is awakened by two men in white suits who take her and her father to a laboratory. Both protagonists are examined while the animal is being attended to on one of the tables where scans are performed. After an exhaustive review, the scientists discover that there have been some healings in our protagonists and that the unicorn's healing properties come from its horn, which continues to emit bioelectric signals. Upon learning this, the multimillionaire family immediately orders the extraction of some powder from the horn to use it in the healing of Leopoldo, who had already resigned himself to dying. The scientists do so and begin to use the powder little by little in the multimillionaire's treatment. This situation does not sit well with Ridley, so she prefers to go out for a breath of fresh air in the forest. The scientists begin to extract the blood of the mystical animal, although they can notice by an apparatus that the bioelectric emissions have begun to intensify. Meanwhile, Ridley, who was exploring in the forest, hears some noises that make her return home immediately. While Ridley was having a chat with Sharper about what she has been investigating, both are surprised by Leopoldo, who is already standing, completely rejuvenated. The doctors, upon giving him a blood test, are surprised because the cancer and the tumor have disappeared. Leopoldo, happy with how he feels, wishes to synthesize the samples they extracted to sell them. Very greedy, he doesn't care what needs to be done, even though his scientist disagrees. Belinda supports her husband, and they only think about everything they would gain. Elio, uninvolved, and now the family begins to produce like crazy. While they were celebrating how much they were going to earn, Ridley interrupts them, mentioning that what they are doing is not right. With some prints, she tells them that centuries ago, it was believed that unicorns were divine beings that could heal, and that is why everyone wanted to catch them. But according to the paintings depicted from that era, nothing ended well, so she fears that the same thing will happen, that something bad is going to happen. To Ridley's sadness, not even her father supports her because he only wants to stay in good graces with his boss's family, which undoubtedly breaks her heart. While the animal was being transported wrapped in a bag, some colored lights appear in the sky, and the electricity in the house begins to fail, as do all electronic devices. The family sends Elliot to find out what is happening. Our protagonist does so, and when he meets the scientists, one of them is attacked by a huge unicorn that pierces his body, a scene that completely shocks everyone. Those who were going to transport the small mystical animal begin to shoot at the unicorn's parents, who have come looking for revenge. Their ammunition is in vain because these furious animals destroy them. Ridley starts running despite her father refusing, which is a bad idea because the huge unicorn goes after her. Ridley takes refuge, very scared, but soon realizes that the animal does not want to hurt her. It brings its luminous horn closer to her, and when Ridley was about to touch it, the unicorn is shot by Leopoldo's employee, which makes it flee, very badly wounded, through the forest. Everyone returns to the house, and there Ridley explains that she feels a connection with the mystical animal, and that is why she believes it did not hurt her. She believes that the best thing is to leave it alone. But this is not an option for the family, who wants to get more profit from the situation, as they are not willing to let go of that huge unicorn whom they consider a gold mine. A hunt is organized in its search, and Ridley asks her father not to go with them. But Elliot does not listen to her and ignores his daughter's request, who ends up staying at home. The hunt becomes a massacre because the mystical animal has the ability to resurrect. Everyone dies in the forest, except Elio and Leopoldo, who return home. When they were about to enter, Leopoldo is attacked by these furious animals, and their horn pierces his face. Once inside the house, Elliot yells at Ridley not to even think about going outside. He calls the police. Everything is fine until the unicorn decides to cut the power to the mansion as if it were a certified electrician. With the electric gate out of service, someone has to open it manually while someone else distracts the unicorn with their adorable baby. Melinda points at Griff and Dr. Baya, who hesitates at first, but Melinda doesn't care about that. They leave with all the drama. After securing the horn in a super fancy container, Dr. Baya says goodbye and leaves, pushing the little unicorn towards its parents. Melinda starts the car and realizes her son isn't there. Surprise! She runs back to the house while Shepard, completely high on horn dust, keeps vaping until he's really tripping. Griff opens the gate manually while the unicorn parents, annoyed about their baby's horn, are barbecuing Dr. Baya. Griff runs for his life. Melinda blames Ridley, but Shepard has another plan: controlling the unicorns with a pure maiden. And this obviously is Ridley. She collapses emotionally and her father tries to comfort her. Shepard plans to use Ridley as bait. Elliot, fed up with so much stupidity, quits the company, and Ridley and him try to flee, but the two unicorns enter the house. Everyone runs full of panic. Shepard proposes breeding unicorns with Ridley, but the horn has disappeared. Elliot has it and tells his daughter he did it to protect her future, so they hug in a tender moment. Shepard grabs a crossbow, but a unicorn eliminates Melinda in slow motion. Elliot forces Ridley to run, but Shepard catches her. Then the black unicorn appears and snuggles with her. Elliot stabs Shepard with the horn, but Shepard also wounds him, and they both fall. In his last breaths, Elliot hears Ridley say she saw her mother. He passes away happily, but the unicorns decide to resurrect him with glitter magic. Father and daughter hug. The police arrive, and upon hearing their story, obviously they don't believe them. But Griff goes after the police car. The unicorns also arrive there, pushing the car to save them and end up driving them off a cliff. Now the question is, will they have been saved? Will this story continue? Well, I don't know, but this is where this movie ends.